Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. My name is Westley Johnson, and whether you're at home, driving, or even at work, we're always glad you're here with us because we have such a great show for you today. You came to the right place. You know, our love relationships are such an important part of creating our best lives. They provide companionship, love, security, and emotional and physical support for us. But what do you do when you're going through challenges that are completely unavoidable but solvable? Well, back with us is Melva Johnson, who's the co-founder of the Johnson Relationship Institute for Couples. She's also the co-author of a couple of books, Mining for Gold in Your Marriage, as well as the author of 10 Secrets to a Long-Lasting Passionate Marriage. You know, Melva has more than 4 decades of experience as a psychotherapist, public speaker, co-author, and consultant. And she has appeared with her late husband, Jesse, on local and national radio, as well as television shows, and has been featured in numerous print media. And it's my pleasure to welcome her to our show. Hey, Melva, or as I'd like to call her, Mom. I know that always gets you.
Yes, it
Always
does.
gets you.
Greetings.
Greetings. Greetings. So
Good
how
to
have
be
you
with you.
been? Yeah, how have you been since the last couple of weeks?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Just
Hanging in
pretty
with the
good?
sunshine. You know, I love sunshine.
I
Love,
know you
love,
do.
love, love
I know
sunshine.
you do. I know that California girl in you. I was talking about that the other day. I was telling people that when you go back home, you just transform.
Yeah.
Your eyes get a little lighter, your smile gets a little brighter, that kind of thing. So, to all
That's
of our
true.
West
That's
Coast
true.
folks, you got a true California girl here. Um, this is a good day. This is a
Mhm.
really good day. We're continuing our series about the 7 common reasons why couples may need a relationship tune-up. And today we are talking about the number one reason, which is couples deserve lasting love. That is so sweet. I love that, right? And it's true. It's true. Couples do deserve long-lasting love. You also
They
say that
do.
they also deserve, um, you know, to enjoy a relationship of their dreams as well.
Mhm.
So while we get to this, um, what does this really look like when we're talking about, you know, a scene at which couples really feel this way?
Yeah. Yeah. So the couples that I'm thinking about are couples who have been together for a while and they have accomplished a lot. They've built a home together. They've raised a family. They're successful in their careers. They get along for the most part, and they really love each other and care about each other. But they get stuck. And the places where they get stuck, they keep trying to solve it the same way over and over again, and they get stuck.
Mm,
And so,
mm,
and then what is it? Somebody said the way that you do anything is the way that you do everything. So
mhm,
the way that they try to approach whatever their issues are, they approach them in a way that they learned how to deal with relationship issues throughout their life,
mm. Okay.
and it doesn't work. And so people have learned throughout their lifetime how to survive in relationships, but not necessarily to thrive. So what
Mm,
happens with even with good stuff that's going on in the relationship, what happens is when they hit a hurdle, they try to resolve it in a defensive survival mode way. And they're finger pointing, maybe they're criticizing, um, maybe they're shutting down and giving each other the silent treatment, but nothing gets resolved. And so what happens over time, that the unresolved negative feelings just simmer beneath the surface, and they get ignited the next time there's a disagreement, even with all of this good stuff that's going on. So what I think a lot about in terms of couples that are in that situation is that I know for sure that they have tried the best that they could to work things through. But the way that they work things through get them in trouble. So couples that I have worked with over the years, it's like when they get to that place, they know they have something good, but they don't know how to get past this part. They're open to exploring something new in terms of, and I give them a relationship tune-up. We'll talk about more
Little
later.
tune-up. Little tune-up. Little
Yeah.
tune-up.
Like our cars need a little tune-up sometimes. We can't just keep driving them, not put oil in, and what else they do? Why am I using that metaphor?
Little water. Well,
Put
but
air in the
sure,
tire,
I mean,
rotate the tires. Is that what they're doing?
tires. I mean, they need new tires, new brakes. I mean, it's basically kind of like
Brakes.
the tender loving care, right? That
Yes.
your car may need, and you're saying that the relationships need a little. See, I gave you a little something there, man. Little, I'll give you that one for free.
Yeah. Tuneup, TLC. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
little TLC.
and that's what it is. I mean, because couples come together because they want to be together, and they want to be together for the long haul. And that's why we're talking about the different stages of relationship, the romantic stage, the growth stage. And this is about the growth stage, because people want to get to stage 3. And stage 3 is the being on the same page and lasting love. And there's a way to get there, but people have to know where they are, be really conscious of where they are, so that they can plan to go forth with the future that they want together.
We've kind of talked about this in previous sessions with you, where we're getting some relationship advice, where one of the number one things that most couples don't realize in their love relationships is that they go through this evolution. It's a natural process at which, you go from the romantic stage. I think a lot of people kind of know about that part of it. But then you go to another stage, which is this reality stage of love, which is where all this kind of stuff happens, right? That you're supposed to have some type of quote unquote conflict, because that's there to kind of wake both people up to the reality of why they came together in the first place. Right. Can you talk a little bit about that part?
Yes.
Because I want to make sure that people who may not have seen previous episodes get that part as well.
Yeah, well, a couple of things happen when people get to stage 2, and that's a natural progression of relationships. So one thing they think is supposed to happen is that when their partner does something that they don't like, that their partner is supposed to change. And so what they are not always aware of is what it is that they need to change, because both partners have an opportunity to grow into a better version of themselves. So the best version shows up constantly in stage 1, but the stage where there's an opportunity for growth, it's like the unconscious keeps providing opportunities for people to look at that part, but they don't know to look in that direction. So they're looking at what the other person is doing that is pushing their button. But what they don't know is, even though some of the complaints and finger pointing, they're hard to hear and they trigger people. What I learned a long time ago is pay attention to the nuggets in the complaint. Because people don't always have the finesse to give people information about how they impact them. Because all of us want to impact each other in a positive way. But when we're in survival mode, it's like, we're out for war, unconscious. We're out for war. And the only thing that is the focus is the problem. And then this negative patterns starts. And it's a negative cycle. It's all people know how to do.
Right.
It's all
Right.
people know how to do.
Right.
And the sad part is when people don't know how to do something different, this is also the stage where people break up. That's why the divorce rate is so high. And it's been so high over the years. Because some people will say, I'm not living the rest of my life like this.
Right.
This doesn't, even if this is working and this is working, I'm not going to do this anymore.
Right. 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 And and thanks for that, Mom, because I think to a lot of times, again, the forest from the trees kind of perspective, where it's like 90% of the relationship could be really, really working, but we focus so much on what's not working that 10% becomes perceived as the 90, and the 90% becomes perceived as the 10. Like everything is going wrong because you get stuck, right? And in these kind of ruts. And it's why you do need a relationship tune up, that you do need to come, have these kind of cycles where you're giving your relationship this kind of TLC, so that you can really realize the forest from the trees, right? What's really going on. So thanks for being here and sharing your expertise once again. Because again, as we said, the number one reason couples deserve to have long lasting, happy, rewarding, enjoy, and love that they can really enjoy. And so thanks.
And
We're gonna take, go ahead real quick.
And it's real important for them to understand their blind spots that keep them stuck.
Okay.
But there's a way to get beyond the blind spots.
Right. And we're going to be talking about some of that stuff today.
Yeah.
So listen, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we'll talk with Melva, or Mom, about some of what she calls predictable results as couples are going through this process of, really creating that long-lasting love that they deserve. So you don't want to miss this. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Book your luxury wine tour today with Old Vine Wine Tours and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. Old Vine Wine Tours offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Go to Old Vine Wine Tours /Wine in the Weeds for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your adventure today.
Are you a business owner looking to expand your reach and revenue to a perfect community? Being a Soulivity Today radio sponsor puts your business in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every week. And it's affordable too. For about the cost of a cup of coffee and snack each day, you can reach ideal people looking for your product or service. Our weekly 53-minute program airs on weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern and Pacific times with real conversations about the people, places, and topics that are part of our everyday life. A perfect opportunity for you. Go to Soulivity.com/Soulivity today to learn how you can expand your business marketplace by becoming a Soulivity Today radio show sponsor. And for a limited time, special rates are being offered, so don't delay.
Hey, we're back here with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson as we discuss this common reason why couples may need a relationship tune-up, and that is you deserve it. You deserve this long-lasting love and to enjoy the relationship of your dreams. Mom, you always talk about as couples are going through these different stages and things may pop up that are part of these common reasons. We talked about things like, where the relationship feels stagnant or the relationship where you may be feeling, taken for granted and other things, that there's always predictable results. There's always like things that happen each and every time, even when couples may be feeling like, yeah, I deserve this long lasting love. I deserve to enjoy my relationship. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by there's predictable results in this case?
Yes. So in terms of looking at a tune-up, the number one predictable outcome is that couples become aware. They become aware of where they are in very specific areas. So if a couple, so I'm thinking about a couple who answers like 5 questions. I'll get 5 questions. So in terms of communicating effectively, so they're both doing their scores on a scale of 1 to 10, and they discover that their combined score is like a 5. And then they score showing appreciation to each other. They look at it and they say, oh my goodness, it's like, I don't do that as often as I could. And they have a combined score of maybe a 6. And then they look at the respect for each other. Now, respect often shows up when people have a difference of opinion. And politics really brings it on. But they can have different opinions about other things as well. And so sometimes it's hard to hear another person, especially when they are intense about their views.
Right.
And so sometimes they admit it, that when they have difference of opinions, that it's hard to hear each other. So let's say they gave themselves a combined score of 6. Okay, let's do 2 more. So in terms of the emotional connection, let's say the couple scored on the scale of 1 to 10, and they realized they spend most of their time being responsible spouses, responsible citizens, but they don't carve out time to just enjoy each other. So they said, okay, we could use improvement that, but we do a little better on that one than the rest. So they give themselves a 7. So the last one in terms of affection. So they knew they were busy, but just sitting down and reflecting, they realized that because of the routine, that they're not as touchy-feely as they used to be. And they both like touchy-feely, but they just hadn't gotten around to it. And they gave themselves a 6. So when they looked at that 1 to 10 and saw that they had like 28 combined, 28 out of 50, they said, wow, I didn't know that we were that far back. It's like, I want to get to 50. I want to get to 50. So how do I do that? So when couples know where they are, they know the predictable result is that they know where they're starting. And the most important thing is not to look at it in a negative way. It's not a negative reality, it's a reality. Right. When you see where you are, it's like you see the value and the benefits of doing something about it.
Do you believe that like our position to look at things in a negative way is part of what we've been taught in terms of like fight or flight, survival, like it's a binary. We don't see that there could be color here, or that there could be even a positive thing about what's happening. Is that true?
Yes, absolutely true. Our brains are wired. Many people think that the logical part of their brain is in charge of what's going on. No, it's the emotional part in the most primitive part of the brain. And that part of the brain has more seniority than the part of the brain that is logical. So what happens when we get triggered is like we go immediately into survival mode, because that's how our brain is hardwired, not softwired, but hardwired. And so people go into their defenses. And that's why conflict and communication breakdown gets so intense, because it's really hard to be logical and you're filled with negative emotions. It's very difficult. And so people think that they should be able to logically turn things around. And they can when they discover how to manage the emotions and shift out of the doom and gloom of the negativity and shift into the possibilities of, okay, what's really trying to happen here? We want something better, but we only know how to do it this way.
Yeah, my guess is that has to be practiced, right? I mean, knowing when you're in that emotional state, maybe knowing when you may need to pull back from that and let logic or rational, the mind come back in, so you can have this conversation or do the work that you may need to do. My guess is that's work, and that we have to practice that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it starts with a decision. That's why the self-awareness part is so important. It's like, when this happens, this is what I feel in my body. This is how I usually react. The impact that I have when I react that way is not pretty. And it's hurtful to the other person.
Yeah.
On some level, on a scale of 1 to 10. Sometimes it's a 10 in terms of being very intense.
Yeah.
But people not aware of it, they're in survival mode. So that's something else. That's another opportunity for people to discover in this second stage. Because what got people to stage 2 is not going to get them to stage 3.
I'm thinking that it's kind of hard to talk to folks or talk to each other when both of you have your knives out.
It is.
It
really is. It
So,
really is. And so if
go
people
ahead.
can predict, if they can predict, because
Right.
when I'm working with couples, I'm going to tell them, you're going to have the situation again. Now, with the awareness that you have, how are you going to approach it differently? You're going to keep the knives in the cabinet, in the drawer. That's the
Keep
first
them
thing
locked
you're
up.
gonna do.
Keep them locked up. Don't go grab that knife. Definitely don't grab the gun.
Right.
Or the baseball bat or whatever it is. Listen,
Grab
loving this
yourself.
conversation with. Yeah, exactly. Loving this conversation, because just important stuff that people need to know, so they can become more predictable, right, and become more aware. Listen, we're going to take this quick break, but there's even more that Melva's going to be sharing with all of us today, especially toward creating this lasting love with your partner. There are ways to achieve transformation, as she calls it, in your relationship, and we'll talk about those ways next. Hi there, this is Brian with Soulivity.com. I want to share some exciting news about our new Aspire Academy by Soulivity. Now, you probably want to know what the Aspire Academy by Soulivity is. Well, it exclusively connects you with people around the globe and who share the intense desire to improve themselves and create a better life for themselves today. There's classes, there's workshops, there's live events, and even more exclusively just for you. You see, I wanted you to have a safe space where you could grow, you can learn, and it would empower you in all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your soul. So how do you get started? Well, it is so easy. First of all, the best part, joining Aspire Academy is absolutely free. Just click on the Join Now button, sign up, and begin your journey. As a special part of this invitation to you, there are some free courses that are available for you to try from our amazing roster of coaches and collaborators. It's our way of saying thank you for all of your support and being with us along our journey of expansion. I hope you enjoyed the Aspire Academy by Soulivity today. Start the process. Learn more about your passion, your purpose, and how to live a higher quality life.
For more information about Aspire Academy by Soulivity, visit aspire.soulivity.com today.
Hey, we are back here with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson as we discuss why couples deserve lasting love and to enjoy the relationship of their dreams. You are just given so much great information today. You know that?
Thinking.
you know, again, one thing that I've seen, because, when you and Dad had your psychotherapy practice together, I'd see, couples, I was there, working and that kind of thing. And I always see couples coming in and out of your office. And I'd see this transformation that was always happening, a personal transformation, that wink, wink, nudge, nudge, around couples. And one thing that I always saw in you, in both of you, was that you were always instilling hope, right? Hope and optimism in these couples, reassuring them that what's happening in their relationship a lot of times is natural, and that there's things about it that you need to learn to get to the end goal, which is real love, that third stage of love. And you say today, you're reminding people of today, listen, that your relationship just doesn't end at the doom and gloom, that there's more for you to experience, and that there's a way through that, through transformation. Can you talk about this part, that transformational part of moving in out of the reality stage and all this quote unquote doom and gloom stuff, where you're reacting, to being proactive and responsive, and that now you're really having this lasting love that you've been wanting?
Absolutely. And I just thought about this. It starts with a decision. And the decision is deciding, each partner deciding, I am going to be a lasting lover. This is who I'm going to be. These are the things that I'm going to do so that I can be that way in the relationship and also be that way in life. It begins within. And so it takes a lot of self-reflection. So just doing a quiz or a short assessment to see where you are in the relationship, then it's important for each partner to look at, okay, so this is how I contribute to the nightmare. So how can I contribute to the dream as a lasting lover? And so, and before becoming, the other part of becoming a lasting lover is to be really clear about what kind of love you want to give And that's based on what the other person wants. So when the other person is really clear about how they want to be loved and cared about, then it's a decision if you're going to give that to them and how you're going to give it to them. And then it's also important to be clear for each individual to be clear about what leads them to feeling loved and cared about. So everybody knows about the book Love Languages. And I love that that book is out. And when I'm working with couples, it's like I help them to get clear about their own personal love language. So it doesn't fit in the categories of the book, but the book gets people started to know that people are different. They take in love differently, and that sometimes the love that people give and the way that they give it is not what the other person wants. Now, they experienced it in the romantic stage, but their natural state is to give love in a certain way. And it's good for them to know that they're off the mark sometimes so they can do something about it.
Right.
Otherwise, they'll keep
Right.
doing what they do, trying their best, and they get really
Right.
frustrated when their partner says, "It doesn't work for me." So anyways, so it takes information and it takes reflection after you get the information. It's like, okay, I know where we are. We both know where we are. Okay, so what are we going to do now? So it takes reflection, it takes the decision, and then it takes reflection, and then it takes action. So that's the individual part. So together, it takes the communication part and sharing from a place of listening, well, sharing in a way that the other person can hear. That is just my model. You probably hear me say that 1,000 times. Expressing, each partner expressing themselves in a way that the other person can hear. And when they're listening, to listen with curiosity in a way that the other person feels heard. So that's what they do together. And when they have that, and I'm getting into the tips, but when they have
That's
that,
okay.
they have a focus. They have a focus. So when they get triggered, it's like they can say, okay, I can go down the road most traveled where we get in trouble, or I can go down the road less traveled for now and have a different outcome that makes me feel better and supports the relationship to grow and thrive.
You know,
Road less traveled.
I know the road less
It's got pain.
traveled. Do you find that part of the some of the issue is that not only do people get hooked on the romantic stage, all the drugs. I mean, you call this the good drug a lot of times, right? The high of meeting the person and that kind of thing. But do you find that people can also get hooked on the drama and they don't want to let go
Absolutely.
of the drama? Okay.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I learned years and years and years and years ago is that this whole thing about connection, it was during the days that Jesse and I were doing transactional analysis. So it was like, let's say that each individual needs 10 units of human connection in some kind of way. If they only get 5 in a positive way, they got to fill up the rest of that cup. And they will get the other 5 in a negative way. Now, all of this is unconscious. So they get hooked on, they get hooked on filling their cup. And the way that they do it, if they don't get what they need, is hurtful. Because they don't want that void. They can't stand that void.
Right.
And, there is nothing wrong with being a drama queen or a drama king, as long as you channel it in a productive way. Because, that energy is exciting, can be really exciting.
Hmm.
So why not heal with it? Why not use it to do things that are going to bring laughter and closeness and joy and
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
Yeah.
I say get hooked on that.
I love it. I love it. I'm remembering when I was younger, um, you would always say, yeah, I'm high maintenance, but I take care of myself. I take care of myself, you know. So I'm not expecting anybody else to do that. So you turned it around where high maintenance isn't negative, where you're actually channeling it into TLC for yourself. Because like you love mani pedis and massages and all these different things. So you're able to do it. So I love that. I love that. I
And
love
when
that.
I do that, I'm in a space, my cup is overflowing,
Hmm.
and I can give from the overflow. So that
I
means
heard
I'm
that.
giving a lot. I'm giving a lot. I'm not giving from a deficit.
I heard that. Listen, why don't we take a quick break? But when we come back, everybody, we're gonna get some tips from Melva on, how to bridge this gap that may exist between where you are today and where you want to go in your relationships. So stay right there. Join us every weekday at 8 a.m. for Soulivity Today.
Whether you're just starting your day or on the road,
Soulivity Today will make your days better.
We will empower you with authentic conversation about the latest news and trending topics. Plus, you won't want to miss our interviews with industry experts.
so sit back, relax, and get ready for a whole lot of fun.
Soulivity Today, weekdays at 8 a.m. only on KMET 1490 AM radio and ABC News affiliate.
Hi there, Sheila Applegate here with some exciting news. I've joined the incredible Soulivity team as the host of the new Consciously Awesome live show, where I will be sharing insights to help you discover your full brilliance and claim the vibrant life you deserve. So, tune in every Wednesday right here on Soulivity TV to join the fun, and remember to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an awesome week, and I will see you on Wednesday.
6 years ago, when I started Soulivity, my vision was to support everyone in improving their life through the discovery of their passion and purpose, so they could become the best version of themselves, to battle fear and ignorance, and create a better world today. Get inspired to live your passion and purpose. Visit Soulivity.com now.
Hey, we're back here with noted relationship author and expert Melva Johnson. We're talking about all these fantastic um, reasons why doing a relationship tune-up is probably a good thing. Today we're talking about the number one reason, which is that all of you in a love relationship deserve it. You deserve lasting love. And so we're trying to help you get there. Mom, what are some tips? You always have great tips about this kind of stuff. You call it bridging the gap a lot of times. So what are some tips for people who may be trying to bridge the gap?
Okay, so starting off with knowing where they are. So
Mm.
having some kind of relationship assessment where you can, like that simple 5-question one that I shared earlier, having something like that so you know where you are on a scale of 1 to 10 in these different categories. So okay, so this is where we are. This is where I am, because you do them individually and then you share them. And so, oh, okay, so there's no blame or shame here. This is just where we are. There's an opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the first tip is to take some kind of assessment to know where you are. And then pay attention to each partner, pay attention to how they show up and look at that as, okay, so I can show up. This is an opportunity for me to show up as a better version of myself. So instead of reacting like this, I can go into reflection and respond like this, have a positive impact that's going to support us to move toward our dream, which is what stage 3 looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then making a decision and making a commitment to follow through. It's like, so this is the fork in the road. So this is where I want to be. And so I am committing myself to do what it takes to think, to make sure my mindset is in alignment with moving forward, and to make sure that my actions are in alignment. And then working together, because both people are taking responsibility. Both people are making a commitment to move forward. And so, and it's so crucial that after making that decision, that other decision is that we're going to talk to each other in a more positive way. We're going to talk to each other in a more productive way. We're going to be goal-oriented. We're going to be vision-oriented. We're going to be solution-oriented. And so our old brain is going to take us back to what we know. We're going to prepare for that. And when that happens, we're going to shift gears. And so every time we shift gears, every time we take those steps, we are bridging the gap from where we are to where we want to be with lasting love. We're going to reinforce the things that we're already doing well. Because we want to stay mindful of that, because that's already working. We just want to fine tune these other parts in partnership as a team moving forward. And we're going to celebrate. That's one of the things that Jesse used to say all the time.
He's big into celebrating.
Celebrating is like, when we had our family meetings, we had celebrations, so it's like acknowledging and appreciating every step along the way, especially the difficult ones, because this is not always an easy journey moving forward.
Thank you for that. When you were talking about these tips, right, from the tools to focusing on how people show up and how you're showing up, and then that leading to decision points that are positive in nature, vision oriented, right, big picture, kind of like how this is how we're going to create this great life together, right? And we're going to talk to each other. We're going to, like we're building this team. I'm thinking of this kind of mirroring what we always tell people about as an individual manifesting your life. Like, you've got to start with like practices of gratitude, like being thankful for everything that you have, right? Because that sets the foundation and kind of breaks down this thought pattern that everything is bad and everything is horrible. And that, there's no hope, there's mediocrity, and you can't, that kind of thing. Because how can you be visionary if you're still thinking that way? And so I love this beautiful shift that you're talking about, how we individually and collectively can make in our love relationships, because we're becoming this bigger unit that has to have a higher consciousness to be able to create the love that we really want, right? And probably even better than, you guys would always talk about, this greater or better, that this can even be better than what you ever thought it could be, right? By opening up to it. So thank you. You've got some final thoughts that you'd like to share with people. So we're going to take this quick break, and when we come back, we'll have those from you.
Okay.
We'll be right back in just a second, guys.
Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Book your luxury wine tour today with Old Vine Wine Tours and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. Old Vine Wine Tours offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Go to Old Vine Wine Tours /Wine in the Weeds for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your adventure today.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today with noted expert, relationship expert and author Melva Johnson, who's also my mom. I love that when I say that. I'm like, this makes me smile. Mom, you've got some final thoughts you'd like to share with people when it comes to this. Some important things that you want to let people know.
Yeah, the main thing is that love and marriage provides such a golden opportunity to have the experience of working and living with another person in partnership. And it's also an opportunity for people to get acquainted with themselves, because when you have the big picture of how you show up, the good, the bad, and the ugly, when you know what that is, you can do something about it. Excuse me. And so transformation is the key. And when you are aware of where you are and what you're doing that works, that brings more love into the situation, and when you're aware of the way that you show up that takes love away from the situation, you can do something about it. And when both partners have that reality, that awareness, they can do something about it, because people don't come together to be together temporarily. They come, when they say those vows, they're saying until death do us part. And so why not enjoy the journey? That's what I'm saying. Why not enjoy the journey and discover all the opportunities that are along the way? Because when both partners show up as the best version of themselves, then they have the best version of their relationship, the best version of their life, because they take who they are, this evolving human being, into every area of their life. Their children benefit, even if the children are adults now and the couple was stuck for a long time, they still learn from their parents. It's like, oh, wow, what happened? That's what
Wow.
As a matter of fact,
Wow.
I remember, and it's in our book, I remember that one couple in the book said when they started changing and started being more affectionate at home, their kids said, ugh, ugh. The kids were like 10 and 12 or something like that. And then minutes later, they said, do that again.
I know, right.
So it has
right.
such a positive impact on the
Yeah.
people who are around you. And then it's like you take it everywhere. You take you everywhere, that better version. So why not do it together? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. How you show up in one situation is the way you show up in other situations. Why not be solid?
Yeah, and I think too that you're passing down this legacy, right, to the next generation of what is possible, because how we are in relationships, as you and Dad have always said to us, is a learned behavior, right? We learn this from our parents, regardless of whether or not the parents are there or not, right? Or in our lives. It could be an estranged, we learn something from that. So here's in this new relationship, the renewed relationship, where love is reignited and that kind of thing. The kids get a chance to see that. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So thank you. Thank you for being here too. Listen, running out of time, you want to let people know that you are offering some complimentary tune-up sessions, some vroom vroom, put some vroom vroom in your relationship. You just need to visit jesseandmelva.com and you can set that up today. And again, these are complimentary; they're absolutely free. So just reach out to Melva for that, and you can get your relationship tuned up in the right way. With this free one, and then maybe you want to go back and have some other ones after that. So thanks again. This has been great, Mom. I can't wait for the next time. Because we're going to start another series on another piece of this big puzzle. I love this thought of how you are not just changing people's lives and their romantic lives, but that you're changing the world through each relationship, right? Where people are learning how to relate to each other in a more positive, practical, and progressive way. So it's a beautiful thing. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. One relationship at a time.
One relationship at a time. Oh man. Listen, everyone. Time flies when you're having fun, especially when you're talking to your mom about relationships. Listen, just want to let everybody know this is how we do it every Monday through Friday, right here on Soulivity TV for Soulivity Today, where we broadcast live on our channels at 8 a.m. Eastern. Or if you're out on the West Coast, you can watch or listen to us on KMET 1490 AM radio in Southern California. Listen, keep working your passion and purpose. Keep working things like this in your relationships, because sooner than later, you're going to create your best life of high quality living today. On behalf of all of us, this is Brian Westley Johnson saying, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.